Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the drive so that when I eventually have to go say things at the end of the episode, I'll have my script. Okay, Rowan?
At this point, it's just kind of a gag, right? Like,
I love it. Is that topic ideas?
it's like you reminding us to fix our audio channels, reminding me to fix my audio channels.
That's
Mostly,
true, but the audience doesn't see that part. Okay, let's go ahead. Welcome to the Game Corner, another video game podcast. My name is Harris, and I'll be your host today, and I'm joined by...
Rowan, you might know me as Mocha, and I am faking it till I make it.
And Captain Unova, probably known as Sheldon.
And I didn't say it, but my name's Ixen. We all probably know that by now. Anyway, welcome, y'all. Welcome to episode whatever number this is, because I already forgot. And hey, guys, do you see that in the studio? I think it's leaking.
We better fix that.
Yeah. So today,
I prefer we didn't.
we just bought the studio, rented it out, whatever, and the landlord is giving us a cold shoulder, keeping this place is in complete disrepair. But there are leaks everywhere, and they're in the colors of Scarlet and Violet.
I was gonna say that'd be really horrifying if there was Scarlet and Violet leaks in your home.
It's all this vibrant.
Yeah, we got a bigger problem.
So yeah, if you guys haven't picked up on it yet, we're gonna talk about leaks today. But before you hit that X or that pause button, whatever, we're not gonna jump right into it. We're gonna give you guys a warning so that if you guys don't want to be spoiled by leaks, we don't want to cause y'all to inadvertently hear something you don't want to hear. But
so we'll give a very explicit warning when we're about to hop into the actual leak content.
Absolutely. But before that, we have some other things we want to talk about. I think the first order of business is we have been teasing y'all with a tournament that we want to run. And I think we finally have a time frame for which we want to run that tournament. Who wants to spill the beans?
All right, I can go.
Yeah.
So the idea is this weekend that we were running this tournament was of course there was a memorial tournament for Crystal, who is I didn't know them very well personally, but a very just clearly well-loved member of the community who unfortunately passed recently, so we didn't want to step on that particular time frame. And of course Worlds is coming up too, which don't want to compete with that. I want to be watching it, to be perfectly frank. So we are looking at this August, early within August, we want to run this tournament. I will be providing a prize pool for it. We'll scale with the number of people who join. And I don't think we've settled on a format just yet, but it seems like we're kind of stuck between either the current Series 12 or something with no max, either like 2 restricteds or no restricted, since one has already been a real format. One or the other. I think we took a vote on this a while back, but we'll get some final confirmation on that.
Yes.
Have anything else on that?
Well, I was going to say, people who, if you haven't yet, jump into the Discord. There's a link below. Add us on Twitter. Yell at us in the comment section on YouTube. I think I might try this week, but there's a poll option you can have on Spotify. So if you're listening on Spotify, look at that. And I also think there's a poll option for YouTube videos too. So anywhere you can vote as many times as you can. And also just come yell at us for what you'd like. If you want to just do a Series 12 to match what's currently happening in the world, or if you would like to go ahead and have a no max and what kind of format there. So we'll have options in polls in various places, including Twitter. And I think for time frame, this episode is going to come out on Thursday the 21st. Sometime in the next week before the next episode on the 28th, we'll have something out. for that, and then try to announce it in that next episode. So look forward to that, y'all. That just gives us a time frame to actually do it, so I'm holding us to that now.
That usually works for us.
Yep.
Procrastination usually does it, yeah. But yeah, really looking forward to it. Love to like really get together a bunch of people from the various different communities that like we've all kind of dipped our toes into over the past few years, and hopefully get some fresh faces in too. And you know, money doesn't hurt either. And you know, there's just, I seem that there's a lack of grassroots tournaments as of late. Like
Yep.
we've got a like I've had World Cup to occupy me, but otherwise you know, it's with Worlds coming up, I feel like the Rose Towers and the Mount Silvers and whatever's of the world are kind of just waiting for Scarlet and Violet. So it'll be fun to get out there and play another Battlefy or whatever the current platform is. I think it's Limitless now.
Oh, is that what the I couldn't remember. I remember it used to be what we have Battlefy. We also had Challenge.
I never knew how to pronounce that properly,
Yeah.
so if you know, let us know in the comment section below. How many times can I try and plug engagement? Anyway, yeah, so look forward to that. It'll be super fun. I think the format for the actual tournament we're looking at is gonna be sort of a long format. So not like cram all your battles into a day, I think, right? Is that what we were talking about and agreeing to?
I didn't know that actually, but I'm down for either.
Never mind. I guess I was speaking.
I mean, long form is a lot easier to manage, so
it is.
That's fine with me. We'll
like that.
We'll get back to y'all on that one.
It's always easier on everybody, I think, because if you just run a day tournament, it's just so hard to get everybody a time that works for everybody.
That's probably best for turnout. I like that.
Cool. Good decision making, y'all. 10 out of 10.
that was done live. Good job.
Yeah.
This is our process.
You get to see the behind the curtains of the game corner.
Open up the kimono.
Part of the kimono. What was it? Inside baseball. However many other phrases you have for that. Okay, cool. That is tournament, I think. Nothing else on that for now.
Cool.
So we'll find out here soon.
And then I think there's the Little Root draft coming up that all of us are looking at taking part in.
Yep.
Yeah. So Sheldon, you're a manager. You probably want to.
Yeah. So they let me know I was selected to be a manager of a team. So still coming up with a name for that. I'm thinking it's going to be along the lines of
the Game Corner.
Yeah, I didn't want to be that obvious, but I'm thinking like to sell it on like, you know, Porygon's, or I was thinking maybe like Tri-Attacks. Sell it on Tri-Attacks.
That's cute. That's
I feel like that's a good.
That is actually very cute.
Yeah. So for those of you who aren't like maybe not familiar, this isn't like a standard draft league where you draft the Pokemon. This is actually more akin to World Cup, which we've been talking about for a bit now, is where you draft players instead. So kind of a little bit of like elementary school kickball, where you have the managers who are team captains, and they go around picking players for their teams. I think of 7, and then just weekly kind of head-to-head best of 5s, I want to say. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Pretty sure it's all Series 12. I think both Harrison and I are going to be participating. Might be a little more part-time, but you only have to play apparently 3 weeks of the whole time, and if you are a player, not a manager, you can play most of those if that's your jam. Seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. We should probably plug Little Root's Discord as well.
I was gonna say we'll have stuff below. So you know, check out Little Root lessons. They have a pretty poppin' Discord where they do a lot of stuff.
They're good peoples.
And so we'll plug them. We'll have their stuff down below. And any information we have, I think that I'm pretty sure I have like tweets out or something about the tournaments. We'll put that there too. I think you have until the end of the month to sign up. So when this comes out, you'll have just over a week and a half, or just about a week and a half. Sorry. Just over a week, I'll say, to sign up again. So we'll remind y'all in the next episode as well to go ahead and sign up for that. And we will make sure that to whatever extent we can, that our stuff doesn't completely overlap with that.
Yeah.
So
really I think that's everything that isn't league discussion.
Yeah. Is there anything else?
Well, you won your World Cup match.
Oh yeah,
I did.
And it was on the stream.
It was on stream. That was awesome. I got Maeve and Costa, I want to say.
Costa and Maeve. Yep.
Yeah, that was awesome. So that was really cool. Check that out. I'm actually gonna post my own commentary of it probably tomorrow. So
Okay,
it'll
cool.
be up before this podcast actually airs. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Got to play against Lunadon. And India took the whole round 7-1 again, like we did
Nice.
last week.
Oh, wow.
So we are a guaranteed spot in like in the main bracket past qualifiers. I think our final match is just for seeding. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Glorious. Yeah. We'll have a. Does Victory Road have the VOD up on their channel?
It certainly will
Yes.
by the time this is aired. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitch. The VOD's up.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's already
cool.
up on Twitch. It will be on YouTube by the time we air this.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, then I'll put the link in there too. I have a long list of links that I want to hopefully not forget. I'm gonna type notes to myself as we go.
Yell at us if they're gone. Yell at Harrison if they're not there.
Wait, hold on. Don't put all the onus on me. World Cup Rowan match. Little Root lessons and something else that I'll try and forget already. Whatever.
It's fine. We'll be good.
When I listen back to this, maybe I'll remember. Okay. So before we go into the hard leaks here and actually mentioning content that is leaked, I wanted to go ahead and have a kind of a short discussion again, so that if you don't want to actually be spoiled on the content of Scarlet and Violet, you can still enjoy a little bit more of our content. But I wanted to talk with y'all. What is your opinion? How do you feel about leaks? And the way that we're getting information from these anonymous people who have, varying credibility, and unconfirmed sources, all this stuff, right? So, what do you think? Sheldon, you go.
Yeah, I'll go. Leaks are a weird subject, I think. I think it's kind of, in this day and age, it's hard to avoid them. So I don't think they're necessarily the worst thing, especially like what we're getting with Scarlet and Violet right now. Like, I feel like it's not too much information, but there's some, like, I know some games, like, I've always been a Magic the Gathering, and they've had people leak the entire, new set come out, like the entire print of cards. You can see every single card coming in. Like, that ruins a lot of the fun of like official reveals.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fine with leaks like this because a lot of it we can't confirm any of it,
Right.
so it's all feels like speculation.
And
What
it's certainly,
until we actually know.
Yeah, it's certainly different from like if you have a whole leaked the prints of a Magic the Gathering set, you just suddenly see the whole game, right? But as opposed to that,
Yep.
if you have just a sprinkling of eclectic information that comes about a video game, it's not like they're leaking all the source code or something, right? Or the actual game.
Yeah, there's there's some video games where people basically get bootleg versions of the game. Yeah, they get pretty much the whole game before it even is final reveal trailers, before it's close to being on shelves.
Remarkably easy, honestly. You can go to any mom and pop shop and be like, here's an extra $100, or like, just can I pre-order this, or they just don't even know the street legal date. Like,
yep,
you'd think they would at least know it by now, but yeah, same thing though. Every Pokemon game, I think, so far has had a street leak like that, a street date, breaking the street date, whatever it's called. There's a phrase for it that I can't remember. But yeah, it happened all the time. Which is, again, bittersweet. I mean, I know in the past I've watched streamers stream a video game like a day or a week early or whatever. I'm like, ooh, I'm interested to see what, I can't even remember if it was a Pokemon, Breath of the Wild, something. Like, I'll watch this and just see if it's interesting, and eventually stop because I don't want to completely spoil myself. But
yeah,
what do you think, Mocha?
So I think that I understand the people who don't want to have anything spoiled for them, like, and I think that it's especially bad with things that are like very story centric, like movie leaks are kind of in a similar ballgame.
Right.
It's just like someone will get an early viewing, someone will, like, I don't know if y'all remember back when we were in college, there was like a cut of the Wolverine movie with no special effects that was the most pirated thing ever and actually hilarious. Like, if I don't think it's as bad with Pokemon where like I'm sorry, there's never been a good Pokemon story. Anybody who thinks Black and White story was good is lying to themselves. Like, there has never been a good one.
No, it's
No.
just the
But, like-
best story, but it's the best of not very good.
Yeah, it's not exactly a big accomplishment, but like I still get it. Like, there's still that like, I don't know. When I was a kid and I got Gold and Silver, there were certainly no leaks, and so
Right.
seeing like the first Sentrets and Totodiles and whatever, which were awesome. That was great. It was definitely a crazy experience that I don't think we get to have in the modern day and age unless you seriously go digital hermit.
Yep.
And I do think that's sad that we don't get that anymore. But I think that the speculation that y'all mentioned earlier is kind of its own fun experience in and of itself. I remember, like, I'm a huge like Smash Bros fan. Like, I love watching the competitive scene, and the like year lead up to Ultimate, when they were like revealing, and even Smash 4 a little while before that, like all the trailers, people speculating, people leaking. The leaks turn out to not be real. People thought we were getting like Shadow the Hedgehog in there or something silly. Like,
Yeah, I remember
it
that.
was, yeah, like the Grinch leak, and people thought it was real because there was a poster of the Grinch movie from before it came out or something along, like, I don't even remember it specifically, but like it's a lot of fun that way too. And there's a chance that everything that we're talking about on this Twitter, like from it's all from a Twitter account. Like, well, the Centro Leaks is probably the most common distributor of these leaks. Like, they could be lying about all of it, and we're just talking about nonsense, but it's still kind of fun and it's part of the experience. And so, yeah, I totally get it if you're not into it, but I'm afraid you genuinely do have to delete your Twitter and Reddit accounts and pray for the next like 6 to 8 months if you really want to.
Yeah, it's
like not be spoiled for anything.
It's wild that like even if you are particularly good at muting certain words on Twitter or the equivalent
Something
for
will
other,
get through.
yeah,
Especially
it's
if you
something to
follow
throw.
or are mutuals with people who are more chill about
Yeah.
this. Which,
Yep,
like,
Yeah, as soon as they like something, it's going to show up on your
Yep.
feed.
Yep. There's always gonna be something that'll sneak through. And yeah, I think I'm kind of agree with y'all. The leaks are interesting. It's interesting that they come, again, they're entirely unbased in something that we can confirm. They have, again, questionable validity and a track record, right? So some of the people that are leaking stuff right now had like a bunch of stuff correct for Arceus when they were leaking that a year ago or whatever, or last year or whatever. So it's like, oh, that's very interesting to look at. Oh, I can't speak today. Yeah, I think as far as like their use is interesting. Like, if they're just trying to have produce clout or stir up the community, cool. I mean, you're doing that. You're having fun with it, I guess. If they are actually leaking real things, I think one of them says they're like a QA tester or something. So they would.
You were in serious legal trouble. Like,
well, yeah,
it's kind of hilarious, right? It's like they're all looking for clout, but at the same time, they really
can't.
need to not.
You can't get clout.
Because,
right.
like,
they can't use the clout. They just have it. Basically,
so yeah, it's like your stupid little online handle has some amount of clout, and you could never associate yourself with it
because
you will be sued into oblivion by Daddy Nintendo. Like, what?
Right.
Yep.
So like it makes no sense to me that. I mean, trolls online, they will always be a thing. But at the same time, it's very interesting, and I didn't look into this before we started recording, and I'm not gonna confuse myself and try to do it during. But as far as like trailers come out, are we lacking in information compared to the last couple of games by 2 trailers and this time
the answer
frame?
is yes.
I thought so.
Yeah, but I think by 1 or 2 trailers at this point, we did know more. I think
we knew Dynamax.
I'm not sure when Dynamax was revealed, but yeah, we definitely had at least one more trailer than now. I'm not sure what the specifics were.
Wasn't it NAIC that they had the demo? Was that the demo?
There was a demo at some point.
At one of the tournament, I think it was in AIC.
NIFC would make the most sense, and then I know from 2019 they had it at San Diego Comic-Con. So like I got to play that, which was super fun. And I want to say there was Dynamax in it because
I'm pretty sure the demos did have Dynamax. I remember talking about
it was like the first gym or something.
Stages.
Yeah.
Right, giant Wooloo. So it's curious that at this point we don't officially know what the gimmick of this game, and we haven't really seen any real footage or stuff for in battle stuff for Scarlet and Violet. So it's interesting because now we have leaks that are coming out with various bits of information that again could be true, could be not true, all this stuff, and then it's up to us as the people who are consuming these leaks or trying to avoid these leaks or whatever, excited to play these games. What do we believe? What do we just not believe? What's just way too out of the out of left field? It can never be true. Maybe it is. Who knows? It's all up for us to try and sift through that and decide what we want to believe.
Yeah, I think this is the best answer, is just to have fun with it. It might or might not be
right.
Absolutely. It's cool to think about. It's cool to talk about. On that note, talking about the gimmick, do you think it's time that we dive right in?
Yeah, so before we go any further, we're going to have a nice long pause for you to find that stop button, to exit out of that screen, to move on to your next YouTube video, whatever the heck you're doing. This is your warning to do that now, because in a few moments, we're going to talk about leaks that you may or may not want to hear. So I'm going to stop talking here in a moment, give us a brief break. And if we have anything after the leak discussion that we want to bring you back to, I'll record that and mention it here in this brief pause. All right, y'all, it's time to fix this leaky roof. Gotta go deep in there and take a look at these leaks.
Before we get started, just want to quickly say, like I said before, all of these leaks come from the Central Leaks Twitter account. We are not vouching for any of them. They are really fun to talk about. They could be 120% wrong.
Yeah,
and we would not know. So
we don't claim to be a news source.
When all of this turns out to be wrong in November, sorry. Yeah.
We hope we entertained you with this then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, I think we are. We're not specifically a VGC podcast, but we effectively have been. So I think the most relevant thing to jump into is the gimmick that will probably define a lot of the VGC metagame upon Scarlet and Violet coming out. Should I start us off with this, and we take turns going around like the big points?
Let's do it.
Yeah. All
right. So the big battle gimmick has been called Crystallization. And from what we can tell, it is just so it looks very flashy, at least from the comically blurry screenshots that we have. Not screenshots. I think like someone found a cell phone from like the late 90s and took a picture of their CRT screen. But it looks flashy for what it is, and but mechanically all it is a free 1.5 times stab boost to a move that your Pokemon doesn't normally get a stab boost on. So it's kind of interesting. It means that you can get that nice boost without all the downsides of being the type. You don't get any of the weaknesses, also none of the resistances. What's interesting is that the leak mentions that using this ability requires an object, quote unquote, to activate. So that's very interesting. Does it mean a held item like a Z Crystal or a Megastone, or does it usually item is the word there, right? So object could just mean like the various bracelets and rings and whatever that people use to activate Dynamax or Mega or Z or whatever. So personally, we can just jump into this. I think from a VGC standpoint, I think that if there's an item required, that this gimmick it can be cool, but it is remarkably weak. It's basically it's like a bad life orb. It's like I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know if I was looking at some of our notes, so you may have said it and I may have just completely blanked on it. But did you mention that is it a one-time use, or is it activate until you switch out? Because I heard both.
The latter. It activates until you switch out. I think you get to choose when to activate it, but then once you switch out, it's gone, and it is once per battle.
So that is interesting, because
also remarkably weak.
Yeah. So if it doesn't involve an item, like a held item, but it has the switch out, is it still balanced?
I think it's still weak. I think that, I mean, compared to Dynamax and compared to Z Crystals and even compared to Mega Forms.
But look at Dynamax. I mean, Dynamax does a lot of stuff, right? Dynamax was way too many tools. I think it's
weaker than any single aspect of Dynamax. Dynamax gives you base 130 to 150 moves. Dynamax gives you double HP. Dynamax gives you flinch immunity. Blah blah blah. Right? I think just doubling your HP is better than getting one stab coverage move.
It is also only doubling your HP for three turns. So if you have a stall mon,
just stab till you swap.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like I was gonna say, like if you have a mon that can stay on the field for a while and for 4, 5, 6 turns, then maybe you can get more economy out of that, right?
There will be use for it. People will find cool strats that use this thing. I think what I've talked about a lot on Discord is like this idea of opportunity cost that Pokemon lacks and that the gimmicks add. So like, and Megas don't really, right? Even they do to some degree, right? Is that restricteds have kind of a similar thing too. Is like there are very few resources that you have to manage in Pokemon because PP power points.
It's negligible in
VGC. They mean something in singles. They are useless in doubles. You very rarely struggle outside of some silly stall strats.
Right.
So like, things like Meteor Beam with Power Herb are kind of cool this way. It's like you get one shot, QM&M here. Like there are very few things in this game that you actually have to manage, and usually it's just I can hit my 8 power point base 100 whatever move until I have completed what I want to complete where my mon dies, right?
Yep.
I think that Dynamax was really cool that way. I think that Z Crystals were really cool that way, and Mega's a little less, but even then, like, you have to keep your Mega alive, right? But it's so weak in my opinion, that someone using it well or someone using it badly has a good chance to just not even really influence the outcome of the game all that much. If you waste your Dynamax, you probably lose the game. If you waste this, you're probably fine. Like you can totally play around that.
So does that? Do you think that makes it better? Right.
So, I think some people will think it's better.
Yeah,
I think some people really don't like the idea of a gimmick being centralizing. But I think if both people have it, then it's not that bad. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been talking the whole time. I have some strong feelings on this.
No, that's fine. This is good content.
I agree with you though. I feel like it's kind of underpowered for like any kind of gimmick. It's kind of like gyms, but if it doesn't require
stronger, I think gyms were stronger.
Yeah, and if it doesn't require an item, then maybe. And also it depends. Can you use it on a type you already have, so you can get so you can actually get like the gym bonus, or does it have to be a different type? See, that I feel like that's also a big one of them right there.
If you can apply that 1.5 times bonus to a move that's already stab, now we're cooking. That's powerful. And if you can keep using that until you swap out, that's strong. That's great.
But
so you do think that actually makes the difference?
I think it makes a huge difference. Yeah, I think that's the difference between me having a better earth power on my Palkia versus me getting to choose which mon becomes Charizard and Sun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because this is just
until it switches
Charizard and Sun basically at that point, kind of.
It's absolutely. Now imagine Charizard and Sun with this, right?
Depends if it needs an item, because then
firing off heat waves.
If it doesn't, then it can use Choice Scarf Heat Wave,
or Choice Scarf too. Yeah, good point. All those options.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's curious. The way that I see it and I think about it is, this doesn't really change how the game is played for a player, because as players, you're looking at a Gastrodon, and you know what 6 moves it's gonna have potentially, right?
Yeah, like I was like, wow, now its Ice Beam does more damage. Great, like.
Oh, because if you have this stab thing, and let's say it is at least good, right? Like not to play down this possible gimmick, but say it's good, then you come into these games. You have in every VGC match, you're gonna have to have much. The knowledge you're gonna carry into the game of what moves a mon uses is gonna come into more play, because now it's like, oh, I'm fighting against. I don't know, Delmise, and I know that it can potentially have 4 stab moves, basically, right? Which I just really wanted to say that as an example. But and I know that the 4th move could be of any type, basically. Instead of, hey, I know that a Charizard is going to do big damage to every fire move it has. So I think that's a very interesting way that it's going to change the thought process of the game. Not change it, but like to bring out that part of the thought process, I should say, because it really is expanding upon what you should already know.
Yeah,
I feel.
I think I've been whining a lot, but I don't think it's, even if it is weak, it's fine, because I think a ton of people have been screaming for a no gimmick format anyway, and I had a lot of fun in Series 10. It was a great time. I think that even if it is so weak that we don't even really think about it all that much, that will still be great for VGC.
Yep.
And if it turns out to be influential, then awesome. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle, to be honest, unless there is some information that we're missing here, which is also totally possible. I want to say that Centro is the face, but they are not the person with the actual content being leaked. They have contacts.
Okay. I thought Centro is like they're basically they're a news source, they're a newspaper. They're just kind of regurgitating what everyone else. It's like a central location for it.
So what I'm getting at here is they said that their source was self-admittedly not very good at the game. Like, they thought that there was like 60 hours of content in the single player campaign, but like, I also don't really know what I'm doing. I just happen to have access to this, so grain of salt. They may not have a good enough grasp on the mechanics to really be giving us an accurate idea of what this actually is.
Right.
Like, I don't even think it's necessarily malice. I think it's just, sorry, VGC is a weirdly sweaty game after a certain point. Like, might just not have bothered compared to like what it takes to beat a Pokemon game, which is have a pulse, and not even necessarily because a random Twitch chat can beat the game.
I was gonna say a Goldfish beat it, and then you have Twitch plays Pokemon beat it. Not in that order, but you know what I mean. Yeah, and that's a fair point, right? So if it's someone who doesn't, if it's just like a run of the mill QA person, right? Come back to QA. They're gonna play a game. They're gonna see things like, oh, that's a cool shiny thing. I guess it makes my move stronger or something, right?
Yeah, they may not even know that it doesn't affect stab, right? They might have just been like, wow, my Charizard has like stab.
My Charizard is doing water damage, but big. Why? I don't think Charizard knows any water moves. That was a
I don't think so. I really chose Charizard that didn't actually have any interesting coverage moves, but that's fine.
Scorching Sand is decent. But I think an interesting point is, the crystallization name that we got with this harkens back to the end of the second trailer with all the weird crystallis stuff happening at the end there, which
that gives me an answer for that.
Oh my gosh, what could this be? This must be the gimmick, blah blah blah, right? So that answers that question, I think, which is cool. Like, I think to put my pin in this is, it is fine. It is not kaiju absurd. It is not as cool as Megas. I think it could lead to some neat things, but beyond that,
even the really bad looking picture of it made it look kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll make it flashy, but understated mechanically.
Is it this poison skull
being
thing?
Flashy?
Is that the picture we're looking at here? Crystallization, the tweet you have.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones.
One
I
of
posted,
them.
Yeah.
So they got.
Would they have one for each type? Because that looks like poison type to me.
It has like a skull and crossbones.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. I think I will not put pictures on the video version of this, so y'all can go find Central Leaks yourself. Yeah. I'm not gonna bother with that. So.
And Nintendo will come for us too, probably.
That's right. Yeah, we can't have that sort of. I want Nintendo to notice me, senpai, but not like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Interestingly, so they said that most NPCs in the game are gonna use this gimmick too.
So if they bring, I think we talked about this briefly before, but if they bring like some more competitive mindset to the NPCs in the game, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Doubles for the whole game when.
So I have seen one like theory like with the gyms like that we've seen. So if you like look at the flags of them, you could almost make like they could be dual type. So you could possibly maybe have two, or could have a doubles gym leaders.
Oh, good point. That'd be cool.
Where they have two types.
Of it. I'd like to see like
that'd be nice.
Like a 3-and-3 type thing. That'd be kind of cool. And then different strategies they can employ with that. employ?
Rotation
Whatever.
battles?
No. I did not like rotation battles. That's just me personally. So.
Yeah, I think even triples was a bit of a bit
Triples
iffy.
was a bit much.
Yeah.
Ugh. Doubles is fine. There's enough in doubles. Y'all, speaking of doubles real quick, what was it? I think Wolfie put out a tweet like a month ago about like the different options that are playable from like singles.
Oh, yeah.
It's the concept of problem space, like just really I'm not like, I don't want to be toxic towards singles players. I think that Smogon is absolutely its own metagame that is very difficult to be good at. I think that Wolfie brings up just a mathematically sound point, is that the problem space of doubles versus singles is just absurdly large. And like, yes, a lot of moves are nonsensical for doubles, but a lot of moves are nonsensical for singles too. And like,
there's logic.
We're getting off track, but like,
they don't have to think about ally switch or follow me or anything like that. Like,
a lot of nonsensical moves are actually genius if you're reading enough steps ahead.
Sheldon,
too.
we promise not to curse on this podcast. Keep your slander to yourself.
Sorry,
Take those
guys.
words elsewhere. Don't say the S word. Switch. Anyway, we diverge. That's not the word. Wow, my brain is not working today.
One of those days.
Speaking of
do
leaks,
we have anything else
thoughts
on
are leaking out.
Do we have anything else on crystallization, or we want to go on to the next one? Probably the biggest one, actually.
Yeah, I think it does matter if it's an item or just an object.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I think that's the
100%.
big question there, and of course if it's true.
Like if it's an item, like there's probably a case of not even ever use it for some teams.
Right.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I also think that brings out like the worst part of Megas, like Dynamax, and worst part of Megas and Sea Crystals. Like Dynamax is really cool and skillful because there are totally games where you want to max something that you don't normally want to max, and you need to be flexible. Like when I was at Secaucus, I'd max my Rillaboom, my Thundurus, my Kyogre, sometimes my Ixen, like all those things. There are games where I've had to max a Grimmsnarl that was 100% support to set Misty Terrain to win. I've seen max Shedinjas in these things. Like
the flexibility is the coolest part of Dynamax. Like, despite all that it does, it's the fact that it can be played on any Pokemon at almost any time. But like that, I think is the coolest part. But having to set that at team building time, that kind of sucks.
If you make this prescriptive and make it so that you can't, you have to prep ahead of time which one is going to take the option, I think that limits creativity so much.
Yep.
Like,
Agree.
but if every one of them has like an additional property to them, is like, if they activate this ability, then they get stab XYZ, but they don't have to, then that's great. That's fantastic. Like, otherwise, like, I can absolutely see Life Orb or Choice whatever being so much more powerful than this game.
Sure. Because at that point, you also know, like, hey, their Charizard is carrying the Fire Crystal, or whatever, right? Like, you know that going into game 2 for best of 3 and best of 5.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even see why it should be like a single region gimmick. Then at that point, it's just kind of a generic toss it into every game. Like, it's not even that strong. It's just another set of items.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay, cool. I think that's a wrap on the potential crystallization gimmick.
So, does anyone else want to read what we have on variants? Do you want me to talk us into it and y'all take off from there? What do you want to do there?
Variant Pokemon. That's gonna be cool. Different Pokemon with I haven't actually read this yet, so maybe you should lead off, Mocha.
Let me give us a lead off. Okay, so what we do know, leading into this is the gen with the most brand new Pokemon, the most additional numbers to the Pokedex ever, and that's actually kind of crazy considering Gen 5 was all brand new Pokemon.
I was say, is that I saw numbers on something else. I was looking at, so first off, y'all, thank Rowan for doing most of the research for this, or 99% of the research for this episode, because I was busy today, so I could not actually do anything. But I was looking at stuff yesterday and the day before, and I saw a number that was not nearly all that much. It was like 70 Pokemon with the variations on top of that.
Okay, so here's what I'm getting at, is that That might be true,
Okay.
depending on how you interpret this. So what I'm getting at is, so this is the most number of unique Pokemon Pokedex entries added ever in a game, but the asterisk is that they are mostly, or not mostly, at least a large portion of them now are these different forms that aren't quite regional forms. So you have regular regional forms, which apparently are only going to include Wooper and Tauros this time. I assume Quagsire too.
That's a
But
weird set.
there are now also ancient, future, and convergent species. Convergent also being referred to as R fakes, which was my little thing at the beginning, but like not really sure if that's gonna be like the actual name. It sounds awful, so I hope not.
Yeah.
So like ancient and future are kind of what the name suggests. They're like, you know, either like primal or kind of neo versions of existing Pokemon. I think the leak that's been seen so far is like the vampire Jigglypuff and the like
Which
very
is
spiky looking Amoonguss,
which is
adorable.
freaking adorable. I
And
want that
Nightmare.
so bad.
adorable and nightmarish respectively. If this Amoonguss is
Yes.
better than the existing Amoonguss, I'm going to be so sad. If it's an evolution,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to be so sad.
Oh shoot! If it's an evolution.
Yeah, then you get Eviolite, Amoonguss, and Leo.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go on.
And then so ancient and future, pretty kind of straightforward. I'm not really sure how a vampire is. I guess they're old, whatever. But then you have convergent species or R-fakes, and this is kind of cool. They're meant to be mons that looked similar but have developed differently over time. And the only one that's been leaked so far is like a water eel that looks a lot like Diglett. It has apparently Diglett's face, but otherwise is a water type eel. And the idea is that they had like a common ancestor but have diverged enough to the point that they're not even the same species anymore. So think like different breeds of cats versus a cat and a lion, like
Sure.
common ancestor, but they can't
Yeah.
have you couldn't breed a cat and a lion, and they are definitely different species. But that kind of concept. So right now what we know is that there will be also regional evolutions for Primeape, Wooper, probably kind of the same way as like Obstagoon is, where
yeah.
like standard Quagsire can't evolve, but whatever this region, we still don't have a name is for it. Quagsire can turn into the new evolution. Murkrow, I don't know if that's going to be off of Honchkrow or if it'll be like a branch from Honchkrow. Dunsparce, Girafarig, and Poniard. I think Bisharp is fine, but Dunsparce and Girafarig is awesome. So
Yeah, those
Yeah.
are cool.
that's pretty
Dunsparce has needed it forever. People have wanted that for like
cool. Yeah.
since Gen 2.
Give
like-
us
Normal
a
dragon or
normal
something,
dragon. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And we already have Drampa, but like maybe make it good. I don't know.
It'd be nice. It'd
Yeah.
do Dunsparce justice.
But that's pretty much it. There's a whole chart of them actually in one of these tweets. Like I
Oh,
can
is
find that.
there? Yeah.
Y'all go ahead and like give your thoughts. I just want to like give the intro. That's like the kind of top level version of what we know about these. So we basically have three variants of Pokemon that will be brand new Dex entries, and then just a couple of them that are like your standard regional forms.
So my first initial thought at this is very similar to how I think my knee jerk to regional forms was, oh my gosh, they're so lazy. But then as soon as I actually saw them and used them and thought more about it, I'm like, no, this is actually extremely smart and super cool. Because A, it's pseudo realistic. I mean, for a game about evolution, you have things evolve differently over time. So that's super neat. And then if you have these convergent and ancient and futuristic things, if they do it not terribly,
It really depends on the designs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
So
that's the main thing here. Because if they,
I think like Alolan Diglett was hilarious, but it was also so lazy.
that one was rough. I think probably the
great.
worst example. Just Surfer Dude Hair Diglett, whatever. Not that true. But I mean, Steel type could have been cool if it was. I think it saw some play, but like, Either way, I think it's neat. If the designs, the typings, the abilities, the changes are all really cool. I'm curious to see. So the numbers thing for the Pokedex, if it's truly is, I mean, what's the most new Pokemon? Was that it's gonna be,
It'll be
either
Gen 5 for sure. I don't know what the number is.
Gen 1 or Gen 5? Yeah, I forget.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess Gen 1 technically they're all new.
Gen 1, they're all brand new. 151 of them. well,
I do have the chart here though. So new regional forms are a poison type Wooper and a Tauros that we don't know.
Yep.
New evolutions are just what I mentioned: Primeape, Wooper, Murkrow, Dunsparce, Girafarig, and Ponyard. Ancients are Jigglypuff, Amoonguss, and Misdreavus. Future, we only know Delibird, which, like, future Santa, I guess, sure, why not? And then Convergent, all we know is that Water Diglett.
I want to see
like,
a future Delibird anyway.
Yeah, I feel like this is like I feel like this is how design though is. They kind of have to at some point do like stuff like this, because how many Pokemon do we have now? Like almost 1,000.
Yeah, and
coming up with unique, brand new designs to fill out a dex every few years, like that's a lot. Like you're gonna hit a point where your things are gonna look similar, and people think, "Oh, that's just that."
Yeah,
and so why not take regions and stuff and just kind of tweak it that way?
So that's definitely like I agree. I think that's the best use of, instead of just, oh man, this muck and this Trubbish look like the same thing, right? Like that's exactly what you were just talking about. But if they had a regional form instead, a la Alolan Muck, or in that case a Novian Muck, it could have been played off a little better. But I think you're right. I think having this as a tool in their back pocket to continue to flesh out new Mon, right? You have the chance to actually continue to have that variety in the game and that newness in the games as we go into Gens 25, right?
I think it gives them some space too to kind of maybe correct some things.
Sure.
Maybe like take some like Gen 1 that, the designs are horrible in Gen 1. A lot of them are, like, especially when you look at like their base stat totals and all that stuff.
Competitive design. Let's be careful.
Yeah.
I was going to say, be careful what your next words are, son.
I don't know. Voltorb's a masterpiece.
So, like, it can give them a chance to kind of go in there and kind of make it how, like, if we made this now. And I think what you were saying too about, how Gen 5 was, like, if they did it now, you'd probably have most of the decks would be variants.
Yep.
It wouldn't be all brand new species lines. We just have a ton of variants in there, because a lot of them were just,
obvious.
Obvious.
Gen 1.
Homages, yeah.
Conkeldurr
is obviously Machamp, like,
vanilla, because they evolve the same way. Yeah. So I think this, I feel like this is a little bit better way to do it. I feel like the fans probably like it a little bit more than the whole Gen 5, just brand new everything.
Yep, I agree. I think it's a cool way to do it. I think if they also continue to expand upon either regional forms and then adding evolutions, but if they can take the ancient, future, and convergent concept into other games, and it just gives them more of an excuse to change whatever Pokemon they're looking at, or more themes with which to change them, I think that'd be really cool. Again, so long as the worst thing they can do for this is just have a futuristic Delibird, and that's all they ever do with that idea, right? They have to flesh it out. They have to continue doing it, and if they have a good number, I don't know what that number is. I'd have to see the whole Pokedex, or region dex, I should say, to see, like, okay, yeah, if they have this percentage of Pokemon can have an ancient or future form, okay, cool. And then if they drop it, okay, I mean, sure, it might make sense because of the game's theming for Gen 10, right? But if they bring it into Gen 10, then they have to have a decent amount of new Pokemon that have that same treatment, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, they did it for regionals. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do it for this, like, unless like this time, if the time kind of feature. Because I remember, I was hearing there were rumors that that something to do with future / past forms were like going to be the second gimmick almost, like Mons could activate that form or not or something, and that ended up being false, and there really is only just one competitive gimmick, at least as far as we know so far. Right. But like if it is something toward where like this ancient / future forms are part of the theme of the game only, then I guess I could see them dumping it. But they had such a successful run with regionals to the point that they're still doing it. They shoved in like these Hisuian mons, and that's years and years after Sun and Moon. And like we were making fun of Doug Trio, but like most of the regional forms have had kind of uninspired designs in Gen 7. Like Ninetales is super popular. It's just white Ninetales. Like Executor is
just a little fluffier.
Okay, but like Executor is long Executor, and like
Executor is what it should have been.
You got the Graveler line.
I have
the mustache
golem, right? Like I don't know, like none of these were particularly well done, but people still like fell in love with the idea, and then I think they did a better job with them going into later games, and to the point like Hisuian Zoroark is really freaking cool. Like I think that Ursaluna is awesome. I don't know.
I even think that the Hisuian Voltorb and Electrode are great. Like it's stupid. It's just as stupid as the original design, but it's done so well because of it, I feel.
Yeah. I think that if people really like this idea, there's no way they won't discontinue it, because it's kind of free content for them, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it takes some creativity, but way less than an original design.
And I don't mind them having that extra bandwidth to put into something else for the game.
Like the actual mechanics of the game.
Like the actual game, yeah.
Yep.
The graphics, I can't wait to see which tree
Fixin'
texture people
trees.
get mad about this time, right? Like, yeah, so maybe they don't have to put as much dev time into that if they can just skip the design phase to some degree. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the inner workings of their process, but
yeah, it's not what devs do, but still, it's less work that they can spend designing other things, I guess.
Yep. I think all in all, if they do it right, it could be very good. If they do it poorly, it's just kind of meh. I don't think it's bad.
And I want to see good Giraffe Rig also. That'll be great.
Yeah,
that'd be so good. Like some of these Pokemon, every time they
I haven't seen a Giraffe Rig. Like I feel like that's just something that was forgotten. Like I didn't even use it in Gen 2. I didn't even like go out of my way to get one in Gen 2. Like
I think every time they look at adding new evolutions like this and like giving some old Pokemon like Dunsparce and Giraffe Rig some love, it's like, oh, thank you.
I wish they'd just go back and literally change the stats of old mons that are bad, but this is the next best thing, and I'll take it.
Yeah,
they did it for Aegislash, and Aegislash was good.
They made it worse.
I know. They had to nerf it.
Have they ever gone back and buffed a Pokemon before, or they only nerfed?
I don't actually know anything besides.
I think they have. I would have to look. I'm pretty sure they've given a few buffs here and there, like nothing too crazy, like 10 or 15 points spread out around, but nothing ever too. Like even the Aegislash buff was, what, they took off 10 on the defense and special defense or something. It wasn't.
You need to get some of the people who work on like MOBAs or MMOs or something. Give them free reign over the base stats.
Yeah, like let them like adjust it and. So because they just don't look at stuff there after it's like once they've released it out there, like that's it, we're done. It was perfect.
It's a very Pokemon theory. In the comment section below, I'm gonna say this again. Put in the mon that you think should be changed and how, or your favorite buff or nerf that has happened so far. Or
I think we could do a whole episode on
buffing,
what we'd like to buff or nerf on different mons.
Or any example of a nerf or buff that exists that's not Aegislash, because I'm coming up empty on that.
So
I just had an idea though, thinking we were talking about the ancient forms and all. I wonder if this is like a way for them to get away from fossils and how they do fossil Pokemon. Because fossil.
What if you retroactively make all the fossils ancient mons, and then you get to have?
And then you have to have a modern version of it. Ooh.
Well, and then like because how the fossils are, like up until Gen 8, they were all rock types.
Yeah.
Every single one of them had to have the rock type, and I feel like with Dracovish and all, they finally said, okay, we're not going to do a rock type. So I wonder now if they're just kind of going to skip the whole fossil phase and just give us the mon somehow.
I did appreciate how they let us play with Legos for the fossils in Gen 8.
The Gen 8 fossils are the best ones ever.
Yeah, well, like the lore was that like the rock part was what was missing, right?
Well,
all the non-rock pieces together.
I just watched the episode with my daughter of the anime for it.
Okay, we might have a better idea of the lore than that. Never mind.
Well, what the scientist's name is Corliss, like careless. or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's so pretty much whenever they were putting the fossils like in their little fossil maker thing, they put them into boxes first and put the tops on. They forgot which ones they put in which box. So when they put it in there, you just had a hodgepodge. And then that's also harking back to when we first discovered dinosaurs. Like,
sure,
you know, that's what people did.
That was based on like because what Galler was English, right? And it was based on like an actual English paleontologist who did that. Like they combined the wrong fossils to make some kind of like horrible monster out of it, and they're just like, this is not what these are. These all went to different creatures.
Which is,
but I like that they went away.
Yeah, Going with the Rock is great.
They have a lot of like random real world lore that they like shove into a lot of these.
These children's games.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I want, and the other thing is like retroactive stuff on this could be really cool. Like they kind of did it with fairy. Like when we got fairy types, you like you made a bunch of old Mons fairies. We could do stuff like this with fossils, make them retroactively into ancient Pokemon. I also think that the convergent or R-Fake things could be that way too. There's a lot of Mons that people have always thought like, why are these not related? Why are these not in the same family? And it's because they were designed separately in different gens or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I think the one I brought up was Love Disc and Alola. Like, there's no reason for why is Alola not just like stronger in the evolution of Love Disc. And like Tauros and Buffalant are like very, I guess buffaloes and bulls are kind of different, but they have very similar designs in there. Maybe that's just the Gen 5 thing.
Yeah, Miltank in there too. Like it's got all these cows.
That should just be female of the same gender. But whatever. Like the like stuff like this, right? Like you could easily make like, yes, actually these are just divergent evolutions of each other. Like you could do Delcatty and Persian or something for all we care. Like it could be cool.
Yeah, they can do some neat things there. If they do it though, again, I think as with all this stuff, they have to do it carefully and smart.
Yeah, and also we don't even know, is there a mechanical reason for this? So there was a new leak that came out. So first of all, this might push us off, but we don't know exact Mons, but the new leak says that there is an ancient and future species for a quote hardcore queen, and I don't know what that means. This is probably very poorly translated from Japanese. I'm
excited for a goth queen Pokemon. You know.
Is it Gothitelle?
Maybe.
There we go.
Yeah. I don't know. That's weird.
Two pseudo legendaries are getting one of these forms. Fingers crossed for Dragonite. Gen 5 bug. And then there are also legendaries, which are supposedly going to be saved for spoiler for later in the episode. There will be DLC, and apparently, like,
I think we can touch on your DLC notes.
Yeah.
Your DLC notes is DLC confirmed. Yay, which I agree.
Yeah. Yes, that's all we know. So not much of a spoiler. Yeah, supposedly it will be that. And also there's going to be a convergent species for a Gen 1 water type that makes it ground. So like the opposite of the Diglett one, I guess. I don't know like which Gen 1 water type could be turned into a ground type, but like, maybe like Land Snake Gyarados or something.
Oh, that'd be cool actually. We already have some water ground Pokemon too, so if it's just
not
ground
Gen
type,
1 though.
True. Okay, well let's touch the rest of that stuff that you have there. Since we're talking about Pokemon, the actual Pokemon, 3 new dog Pokemon, including a ghost dog, which I'm stoked about. I saw that note.
Supposedly there are no. I heard there's no evolutions added in this one, so they're just going to be like independent designs.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, I had heard people say that they think that there's going to be like stuff based on scrapped designs, which have become like more widely known thanks to like Dr. Lava, I think, something like that. There's some Twitter account that like researches designs like Gorochu is like apparently Raichu was supposed to evolve one more time originally, and so like there were scrap designs for the like Suicune, Raikou, Entei trio, whatever you want to call those 3, like could be based on like 3 new dogs could be based on those original designs or something along those lines.
Yes, the legendary dog Pokemon.
Beast, cat, something,
that's neat. So I'm excited for that. A new spider line. Sorry, all of you with arachnophobia. More 8-legged Pokemon coming your way. And then your last thing is implied that future and ancient species will be treated as legendaries.
And I have no idea what that means. What does treated as legendaries mean? Does that mean that they're going to be strong enough to be restricted? Does that mean we just catch them in a one-off encounter, but they're otherwise kind of regular?
Those are the two options I
Volcarona?
thought of immediately.
So on the Centro, they have a thing posted says these species don't evolve; they're standalone but with high stats. So
Cool.
they,
I always wanted a legendary Amoonguss. This is going to be.
so are they going to have like? Is that basically going to be our new mega forms?
Well, is it
Where you
standalone? So like it doesn't
could be a
actually
gimmick, yeah.
evolve or come from something. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, so maybe like the future
'Cause-
form of, or the ancient form of Jigglypuff, like maybe there won't be a vampire Wigglytuff. It's just
Oh wait,
standalone. This
just
Jiggly is...
just a Jigglypuff with a 600 base stat total
there you go.
Mhm.
for some reason.
I mean, it's interesting because you have like again Jigglypuff, Amoonguss, Mischievous,
720,
and
come on.
Delibird.
Yeah.
Delibird doesn't evolve. Sure, that makes sense. The other three are actually part of a line, so that's curious.
Yeah.
They're just like does not evolve. But actually, if this counts to some degree as a new Pokedex entry, maybe that plays into it, right? Maybe that makes some amount of sense. Okay, I took over your list, so sorry, Rowan.
No, that's that was everything from the like the new tweets.
Right.
There's a few like minor little pieces left. I think we've hit the big guys so far though.
I think so.
If you want to just
Yeah,
go through
I
what's,
mean,
what's left.
There's a ton of stuff too if you just scroll down Centro.
Yeah. This was like an amalgamation of all the different points I could find for Centro.
Yeah.
Maybe there's been even more.
Yeah, so again, if y'all want to do your own research after this and look and see what we're referencing here, Central Leaks is a good place to start. Obviously, I think people who are listening probably know Riddler Q or Q, whatever is another name here. There was another one that I was looking at the other day too. What is his name?
I don't know, the other name is weird. Some just like someone just smashed on a keyboard pretty much.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. And then there are other like prominent Nintendo leakers who have existed for a couple of years and have some degree of credibility. Might be the wrong word, but a good track record. And you can find them. They exist, right? So if y'all want to avoid it, you can. If you want to go find it, you can as well. To touch base on the other points here on your list, this is one that I find very interesting, is that bikes are gone in favor of the legendaries Corridon and Miraidon. Corridon, Miraidon.
In addition to one more.
And apparently one more. That's weird.
Has not been released.
Yeah, so we'll see the third legendary maybe. And then the fact that bikes are normally pretty early on in game, and now does that mean you get the legendaries early? Does that mean you have to just walk everywhere in this open world game without some vehicle? That would.
I ain't got time for that.
I want to digitally walk. What is this?
Yeah, kind of rough.
It was bad enough in Sword and Shield when you didn't have a bike when you first got to the wild area.
Yeah.
Like anytime I've ever done a playthrough since, like I've rushed as fast as I can to get to the bike before I go do all the little play around stuff.
I like the idea of, hey, we have this game, we made it open world, we want you to experience the open world, but make it fun. If there is going to be no vehicle,
joy of movement has to be a huge thing.
Yes. So if there isn't a vehicle early on in the game, there has to be plenty of stuff to do to keep you entertained as you move, or somehow make moving fun. Right.
Yeah.
Reminds me of like early days of playing like World of Warcraft or something. You have to like run everywhere, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this takes so long.
That's literally a game designed to waste your time, so you keep subscribing.
Yeah.
So like, oh, you're right. I've already paid for this game.
We talked a bit about this when the trailers dropped. Like Koraidon and Miraidon both have like, they look cool and have like they are bikes. One of them looks like it can fly. The other one, I don't know, it can just hit the ground so hard it jumps so high or something. Who knows? Like they can probably, if they really want to add some joy of movement to this, they definitely can with those two. I think that they say the early in the game thing is kind of out there. You usually don't get to use legendaries that early, even in like a lore circumstance, for a long time. So maybe that's what the third one is. Maybe the third one is like legendary
Rotom.
at home kind of thing.
Rotom bike.
Tricerdon, the tricycle.
Sure, yeah, the tricycle dinosaur. Why not? Like, because ride Pokemon in Alola were actually really cool. I think those were like kind of universally enjoyed. I thought it was like, these are HMs, but you don't need to waste move slots, and also you get to like ride all these mons that everybody kind of likes.
So what's interesting is like that's the spark, or the first step was the ride Pokemon, and then we've gone all the way to like you have a bike, a Pokemon that's a bike, right? So it's like I like the ride Pokemon because you have a bunch of different options for different types of travel, at least.
And the mounts in Arceus were really similar to that too. It was like ride Pokemon on steroids there, like.
And yeah, correct. Like they're still, again, like a ride Pokemon, right? Like you could summon a Basculegion with a handlebars attached to it.
Yeah.
So like,
or like you could climb mountaintops and like shoot up and fly and glide, or
So it's curious to see like if Koraidon and Miraidon and Third Mon are the only ones that you can ride. Because like I know there was something like a theory or a leak or whatever that was going around a little bit ago, that there was like the different types of movement you normally have in a Pokemon game: bike, fly, surf. I guess that's it. Like the Koraidon and Miraidon would do all of those. So like, you gotta be really interesting to have this bike do that. Yeah. I feel you have to have a good way of doing that.
It's interesting information to have. I think that it just comes down to what they do with it. They could do it well. It could be garbage, but yeah, I feel like they didn't have to narrow their design space that much. They could have just gone with ride Pokemon and then made the legendaries the like ultimate end of game ones.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting that they chose to limit it to just those. But
so I wonder if the third one though is just like the story part, and then post game you get the legendaries. But like I personally kind of do also like the Sword and Shield, just a Rotom bike, like because I like because it's seamless.
I was gonna
like
say,
everything you do.
Give it another Rotom bike type thing.
Where you just if you could ride on the ground and then you hit water and it just turns into the water thing.
That was cool.
I like the seamlessness of it.
I mean, there was definitely the convenience game.
Yeah. I mean, is that's what I want. From a main series game, I want everything to be convenient. I want it to.
Arceus was from the competitive with ride Pokemon.
Yeah, Arceus had that. You could just ride your Weirdeer into the water, and it would like automatically
suddenly become a Basculegion.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a little lore breaking kind of. It's a little weird to me sometimes.
They just kind of swap places real fast. They got great reflexes.
Very fast.
So I it can be done right with just the one thing. It's like, and also I wonder if they'll bring any kind of customization to it, like you did with the bike. They give us a little bit. You could change the color of it.
Put stickers and decals on your Koraidon.
You put a flame sticker, it can go a little bit faster.
It's gotta be tattoos. I'm just gonna be tattooing my poor bike mon.
If you can tattoo Koraidon, you better be able to plug in some RGB cables into the Miraidon. Okay, that is my wish. I know it won't happen. And
if it can emote with its pixelated eyes, that'd
be glorious. So that's interesting. Again, I think that's open world will be very weird without a vehicle, so they better do it right.
Yep. I think
customization.
Yeah, I was about to go there. So I think with that though, I wonder if it's a beta thing. I feel like to me that just seems really off for everything they've done. And I mean, we've had a lot of customization options going back to Gen 6.
Yeah,
you could take your character out.
Before we go further, I think we're talking about it without telling the audience exactly what the leak is here. So supposedly trainer customization is now limited entirely to school uniforms, like a la what we saw in the trailers.
Right.
And granted, we are a bunch of hairy old men who are playing this game. Like I doubt they're ever going to let me have a beard in real life, right? Or in this game. But
yes, Nintendo will come shave your beard tonight.
I doubt they're ever going to put beards in this game where all of the characters are children. That's fine. So whatever. But only school uniforms is a bit weird when we've had so many options so far.
Very weird.
Because that's what I was going to say. Like, we've had the options to, like, I know that thematically in game and lore and story, whatever, all these Pokemon, all these trainers that we play are young. You had the classic, you're 10 years old, you go off into the world. But
like everyone does.
like everyone does. But like at least in like
Nothing weird about that.
in like Sword and Shield, you have the option to like, I'm gonna give myself a suit and a top hat so I can at least feel like I am mature, but also having fun with it. Like you didn't have to just be relegated to just being a child in school. So I agree, that's pretty sad if that truly is the case. If it's not just a beta quality assurance thing.
There's not a lot of discussion to be had on it. It's just like, I think it's not true, I guess. Yeah.
So and another thing I wonder too is this going to open the door to like microtransactions in a Pokemon game?
I would pay for a lot of things on microtransactions. I don't know if trainer outfits are one of them.
You say that,
I mean, maybe not you, but I think people would though.
You're totally
because
right.
that's how you are shown on the World Cup stream for Victory Road is your little character who throws the Pokeball and stands behind the Pokemon.
Well, and see, like to me too, like because I always feel some type of I always feel some type of way. You play somebody with a trainer card that is literally the stock card, that you don't even like do anything to. Like, come on, man, like give me a little effort.
The customization that came with the trainer cards to make it like a sporting event was cool.
Super cool. Yeah.
I hope they bring something.
It's a good touch
back. Yes, it's a good touch.
It's like the opening battle sequence, and at the end too. There's just a good little personalization kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. You're totally right. I hadn't even thought of it in like a beta context. That could totally be true. Maybe the admittedly not so good player didn't like find the ways to unlock it or something along those lines.
Yeah, I feel like that's just along the lines of something like, because I doubt they're playing the full game.
Right.
Some of these testers and all, so that's my hope anyway.
So I'm moving on. I am not a shiny hunter. I don't know if
none
either
of us are.
Okay, none of us are shiny hunter people. That's fine, but it is a very large portion of. I don't know what percentage wise. It's also probably not that big. It's probably equivalent to like the number of people who play VGC or Smogon or something. But like,
it is another sect of Pokemon people.
It is a significant number of human beings anyway who make up a pretty big part of like the Twitch viewer base for Pokemon is shiny hunting. God, how do you watch someone else shiny hunting? Anyway, not trying to talk any trash. Our hobby is also weird. It's fine.
It's the gambling addiction, and then seeing someone else succeed. It's the same thing with someone else opening packs of cards, and
I also don't get that, but it's fine.
Yep.
Anyway, so the leak is that overworld shinies are quote unquote probably back, whatever that means.
That means that they were told to be back and to look out for it on the QA sheet, but they never found it because the odds are not in their favor.
Because they're rare.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
I think that's super cool when you combine it with overworld, not random encounter Pokemon. I think that more people will get them. I think they've also just the Pokemon company has been acknowledging shinies and using them as a marketing thing a lot more in the past like maybe 5 years or so. I think Go really pushed it, but maybe a little before Go too. Like people started like shinies weren't just an obscure thing because I don't know about y'all, when I played Gold and Silver as a kid, I thought that shinies was the only shiny was Gyarados. I genuinely had never seen anyone with another shiny because it was so rare and no one ever told you about it. The guides didn't mention it. It was just like a secret Easter egg. And now they're like a major part of the game's marketing. So I would be unsurprised if they like increase the rate of them, and also just you are likely to run into one in the overworld somewhere.
Yeah.
At some point.
Back in Gen 2, the only reason I knew there were more shiny Pokemon is because of Ash's Noctowl. Because it was shiny.
Oh yeah.
I think I'd stopped watching the cartoon by JoJo. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember that.
So also though, I feel like your odds of finding a shiny if their overworlds are shiny is
higher.
Greatly. Yeah, it's got to be.
I don't think your odds are higher. I think you're more likely to go and out of your way to like, oh, I see one over there. Go get one.
Just I mean, odds in general, because odds have to be right to hit the right one that hits the right seed.
Arceus did it. People loved it, especially when you have like the noise ring out. Like there's a shiny somewhere in the overworld right now, and you just stop everything you're doing and just frantically looking around.
But the odds were technically the same, right? In Arceus.
Yeah, I think the odds are the same, but just the fact that you don't have to randomly do who actually
Yeah.
run
not
into each and
encounters.
every one and see it.
Well, yeah,
that's
and you know,
great.
you run into one, and it's going to change the number, the seed number, so something else is going to be shiny that was shiny at that time. It's like,
Yeah.
the randomness involved with shiny hunting traditionally is insane.
Right.
Anyway, I hope that one is true. Even if it doesn't necessarily benefit us, I think it'll be just good for the game. I think people like.
Well, it's a fun thing.
I think people will be more emotionally attached to it if they like.
Yeah.
If you are more like, because they're still rare as hell, right? Like you're still gonna get one or two in like a couple 100 hours of playtime. So like, if even if you run into the one, you're still like, this is awesome, this is mine. I found it.
I still have
But
not
you're more
ever caught
likely
a
to even
shiny.
find the one. I think I got one. I've gotten a couple over the years, but yeah, like I don't hunt for them, so it's all like all
Right.
chance.
Yep.
Have you ever knocked one out? Oh, I did that one
God.
time. It was terrible.
Like
It wasn't. I think I was playing Gen 6. It was like a Windsor or whatever that little thing is. Shiny and nope. Yep, knocked that thing out right away.
So
Sometimes.
what back in what was Hippowdon? Hippowdon was in Gen. I'm embarrassing myself right
6,
now. No, Gen 4. Yeah.
4.
So back.
Yeah.
And when I first saw a female one, I was like, I finally found a shiny. No, they just have the different color schemes
the
for males
other-
and females. I was like, dang
The
it.
other Gastrodon.
Yeah, the
and
different
Gastrodon too.
Castros.
Yeah, East and West Gastrodon, same thing. I was like so excited, and then played myself. So
the final little bit of leaks that I know of, Cap, if you got any more, please share. So I mentioned all those really blurry images earlier. Some of them include the final evolutions for the starters. At least Sprigatito's. We have word descriptions of the other two. So Sprigatito's final evolution. First off, the screenshot is so blurry. I cannot tell. I can't.
And
I cannot
cropped.
give you any. Like it is cropped down to like a bit of what I think is a neck.
Yeah,
And-
I can see a mouth, like the neck,
Yeah.
okay.
and part of the
Anyway,
upper torso.
so
Like,
that is useless, but we do have word descriptions of them, which are a lot better for a podcast anyway.
Fair point.
Sprigatito is apparently a clown / masked thief.
Okay, I did see a
I
blurry
can see it
picture.
from the picture.
Can you tell?
Trying
Could
to-
you
Yeah.
could you make that out? Really?
I can
trying to
kind of make that out.
Maybe
Someone
I'm
send me a
blind.
link because I can't find these pictures quickly.
Okay.
Scrolling through the Centro leaks.
You
I'll-
wouldn't
I'll
recognize
post-
it if you saw it here.
Oh, is it this
it's,
the neck one that's like just this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
I
like a
did
pink.
see-
It's like pink and black shapes.
I have seen another description or another picture, a blurry picture of potentially the Sprigatito's final evolution, which could be that, but it was bipedal. It had like big baggy pants to it.
It,
Oh,
it
that
looked-
that was
it looked-
confirmed
that might have
fake.
been fake, but it
Oh,
is
is that
okay?
bipedal supposedly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm also not a big fan of bipedal starters. So anthropomorphic starter. We don't need to start this anyway. So that is Sprigatito. Quaxley's evolution is apparently a dancer peacock, which is interesting because it was almost certainly going towards like the pirate kind of vibe with like a
You
Don
thought with the
Quixote
hat.
type of,
Yeah.
Or, like,
it was like a
sailor
Don
type
Quixote
thing.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a dancer
And-
peacock is interesting as like
It's
a
supposed to be
change
water
in
fighting
theme.
too.
Sure, as long as it's not firefighting, I'm okay with that. And then speaking of fire, Fuecoco, I was escaping when I typed this up. Their final evolution is not bipedal as far as we know. It's going to be some kind of on all fours dinosaur type of thing.
I'm
Which,
pretty
Yeah,
excited
very
for that.
crocodile like.
and I think Fire Ghost was what they confirmed there, so that should be cool. The Ghost Pepper idea.
I'm super excited for that then.
Yeah, I think I want to be. I still want to see them. I want to see the final evolutions, but I'm I'm leaning Fuecoco pretty hard right now.
So with that Sprigatito one there, the same picture group, it's got the one with the crystals that's supposed to be Quaxley's final
Oh, is
evolution.
that what that is?
That's
Oh,
that, but it's
I can see a dancer.
but it's crystallized. But it's
Sure.
crystallized.
Can you
but
really? Can you really see it?
I thought that was-
a little leotard.
I thought
thing
that was
going
like
on
the
there with
Miradon
neck.
or something.
I can't see Miradon.
I
Okay.
believe you. Kind of.
So that begs the question though, if it's like a clown and all, and it's supposed to have the best ability. It's supposed to have a god tier ability. As a clown thief, is it prankster?
Don't you dare.
No.
Did we get
it?
Did we get a grass type of prankster? And sleep powder?
We have Whimsy Cut already. Oh, God. Oh, don't do that. Don't give it.
I'm just like, it's, grass, dark, thief.
Mm-mm.
And that's about the only ability I could think of that kind of fits that theme.
I think the special intimidate idea is gonna be it.
I hope so, because I think that's a cool idea.
That is
but,
yeah.
Okay.
It just looks like a prankster. It's a cat.
Okay, you can stop.
Cats like have a prankster.
You're allowed to stop anytime. You can stop anytime.
Give it fake out.
So we have been talking about leaks for over an hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did good. This is a long episode.
Maybe our longest episode. Yeah,
I think it is. I also think at that point that we are probably gonna close it out. I think that's all our leaks we have. Obviously, I think it all comes down to, for leaks, do what you want. If you listen this far, you want it to be leaked, or you want it to be spoiled. So thank you for that. Potentially
spoiled, because we don't know.
This is all taking everything with a box of grains of salt, right?
There's a chance that we run Centro and we made all of this up.
This is really just to try and get more clout in our fake Twitter accounts. So, it could be anything. But again, for execution here, if they execute all these things well, it can be really cool. If they don't, yeah, we're kind of sad.
Exactly it. None of these leaks confirm anything explicitly negative about the game. They could all be good or bad. It's like you said, execution. That's all it comes down to.
And even a lot of the stuff, I don't think the bad is that bad.
Exactly.
Right? Like we'll see. Hopefully we get another trailer soon. Maybe with any luck, the Nintendo thing at SDCC has something that'd be really cool, and then I can come back and talk about it next week. Because I think when this goes live, I might actually be in that hotel room.
I'm gonna be super jealous if you get to play a demo or something.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think so.
I hope you do. I hope you do though.
Same.
I hope so, but looking at what they have, it's not very interesting. We'll see. For the Nintendo thing they have at SDCC. But yeah, so anything else? Any other last thoughts?
I have exhausted everything I have to say about this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plug and get out of here.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, so next week we'll be again mentioning stuff for tournaments coming up. We don't have a topic for next week yet, so we'll figure that out here soon. So thank you to Game Chops RobKTA for the use of our theme song Goldenrod Game Corner off of the Ultraball album. Go give it a listen, it's super good. I've been Harrison. You can find me Twitch and Twitter as Ixen. I might actually use SDCC as an excuse to start posting to Instagram, so you can find me there with the same name. And I'll tweet stuff about it too. And I have been joined by
Rowan. You can find me on YouTube as Rowan Hall, Twitter as Rowan W Hall, and don't look for me on Instagram. That is,
And this is Sheldon. You might know me as Captain Unova. Might know me. You can find me Captain_Unova on Twitter and Captain Unova on Twitch.
And then we have been the Game Corner. You can find us at Twitter at Game Corner VGC. Our Discord link is in the description below, as well as all the other stuff we've mentioned so far, including all the things that I have to remember to actually link there. So someone hold me to that. Anyway, we have been the Game Corner, and until next time, press start and game on. I changed it. I like it.
Oh,
it's new.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's good.
Bye.